Hello, welcome to another interview from another Zero. Jaeonnie Davis-Crawford, welcome. Welcome to the Zero. Thank you for making the time and the space. How are you today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm doing pretty well, resting up after an intensive rehearsal process.
I bet. I just saw the play, The Cocktail Hour, and this is mainly what brings us here today. Can you tell me how the project came to you, and then how was the experience of directing this piece?
So, Sean and Connor, who run Trinity, they're college friends of mine.
Oh,
So they're aware that I'm, working my way through the directing circuit, climbing the ladder. I've worked with them a few times in the past. I did a staged reading with them last
mhm.
year, early last year. So they got to see how I work and they were pleased with it. So when their new season came up, they invited me to come direct the cocktail hour.
Nice. Can you tell me, for people that are not familiar with the play, the gist of it, what it's about?
Yeah, so it's by A.R. Gurney. It's a two-act play, about 2 hours. And to sum it up very simply, one man feels very distant from the rest of his family. And one of the ways he works through his emotions is he writes plays. His family is very WASP, and it's set in 1970, so therefore moving further back in time. And family business stays in the family. You don't talk about the things, you don't spill the beans. So
Mhm.
they take issue with the fact that he writes these plays about the family. And this one is about his father in particular. It is about him working out his issues with his father. So the play that we watch has the same title as the play he wrote. It's called The Cocktail Hour. It's very wink, wink, nudge, nudge, meta. Um, and it's just him working out his feelings with his father and his family, talking it out. Very much the only person in the family in therapy goes home for a family dinner.
Mhm. I love it. It is a very interesting piece, and in that gorgeous space that Trinity Theater now has, which I had not been, so I'm excited for all that and what is to come. You said meta, and yeah, how did you approach this, directing the actors, and also you being so young, and this set in a decade where you probably were not born in, and the family dynamic that, yeah, it's like very manly, conservative, traditional in that sense, very Western, very American. How did you tackle that?
Well, I'll tackle the period part of it first, which is I had a team of designers who had to do all of the research about the time period for me.
Mhm.
So I could focus on like the story and the emotions. When there was something I didn't know historically, I would ask my dramaturg. So that kind of took care of that aspect of it. And then the rest of it was honestly pretty simple because what my goal was is to very directly and faithfully tackle what the text had in a way that felt relatable for anyone today. I
Mhm.
think because of the age we're in with mental health, I think a lot of us are tackling those generational wounds in a very direct way that makes the people in our families very uncomfortable. So I aimed for a very boisterous and uncomfortable father who would attempt to kind of wash over everything, and a son who kind of is like a lighthouse and those waves are crashing against the rocks and he's affected but he's standing strong.
No,
And that was like those are the main feelings I went for this show.
wow. I love these analogies. Yeah, this is a play that, also to bring friends, you might want to bring a couple family members to
We're
make,
not.
or not, right? To make it even more uncomfortable. And what is next for you, work wise?
um Work wise, right now, what's definitely next for me is I work very closely with a theater called Imagine Brave Spaces.
Mhm.
We do a lot of forum theater, which is a type of interactive, justice centered theater. And the show we have coming up is called Zion Story. I'll be performing in it and assistant directing it. It's an interactive piece where we do a 20, 30-minute piece about human trafficking and how it affects youth in our community. And it has a sad ending. So we go back, we reflect with our audience because we go to middle and high schools and perform this show. And we asked them questions about it. We asked how it went, how they feel, what could have been done differently. And then we go back, we do scenes, and we say, if you see a moment where the main character or her friend could do something differently, stop the play. So they stop it, and we say, what do you think she could have done differently? And they say something like, oh, I think she should have spoke her mind or set a boundary here. And we're like, wow, your language is so strong. How would you feel if you came up and replaced her and said that yourself in her position? So that's what's coming next for me.
Wow. Any chance that we might see that in a non-school setting for us older people?
Yeah, Imagine always does a public show for their pieces every year because we care about our communities. And even though we are doing this, for schools and for the youth, your child may not go to that school. You may need some healing yourself. So there will be at least one public show. Definitely keep an eye on the Imagine Brave Spaces Instagram. If you want to follow that, we have another show we do in the fall called Safa's Story. It's the same format, but it's about racism and bullying. And I do play Safa. Oh, you've seen Safa's Story?
I've seen Safa. I love Safa.
Oh, amazing.
Safa should play every year. I saw it a while ago. I saw it around 2018, I want to say, 2017.
Oh, you saw it before I joined.
Maybe. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It changed my life. I was so blessed to be able to become a part of it.
It's a life changer for sure. And I'm so glad that it's coming back to me in some sense.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. And we can talk about it and promote it, of course. And here for the title of the space is From Another Zero, because we firmly believe that everybody just does not start from zero. You start from another zero after your tools and the learning curve that you have encountered. And we ask our guests what their other zero or zeros are.
Oh, yeah. My first play in a directorial setting. I have to not use any names at all. But I was a junior in college. A former friend was on the student productions board, like the board of student productions that like produce things just for the students as opposed to like the university stuff. I had just seen a play I had really loved. I was talking about it because I had ordered a script for my boyfriend as a gift for Christmas.
Oh, wow. And
he said, wow, you sound so connected to that script. Would you like to direct it? And I said, sure. But the issue with this student on the board, he was a year below me, and he had very quick success, which had unfortunately gotten to his head. So he started, to put it plainly, switching up on everybody. I promise this is not going to be a story just of me spilling some tea. It is very much a lot of professional issues. But to sum it all up, I was supposed to produce and direct my show on like a stage. And it went from a theater stage to one of the stages on campus that was used for other stuff, to a small little building, to a lecture hall with an unmovable podium. And I had said, could we maybe do this next semester when we can get a stage for me? And he said, in the professional world, if you would ask me that, you would be fired. And I said, in the professional world, this wouldn't be happening. And then he laughed like the Joker.
Oh my God.
So it turned into the month of rehearsals. Every week was something new. Every week was, there's no lighting in the space. Happy birthday, you don't get a tech week, you get a tech day. And every week I would sit with my actors and go, do we still want to do this project? Is this something that we're still passionate about? And we were all so passionate about this piece. We were all so passionate about this text. So we just kept going. And near the end of the last week, I got a call from the production team, not the specific person I'd been working with, because he wasn't going to be the one to tell me, that they couldn't afford to pay the fees for the show because they didn't have the money and they had never had the money. So I had to do my show next semester anyway. And it taught me a lot about finding my strength. I was not a confrontational person. Confrontation to this day makes me sick to my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
But the need for it, because it was either that or lay down and get run over in a way that was just purely not professional.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely say that's another 0 for me. I really found my strength, and I found ways to find my strength. I'm a big purveyor of like, what are my armor outfits? What's the outfit that I put on that makes me feel like I'm the director in the room? You can't, come at me sideways because I'm, a warrior today. And then I have my fluffy pink days where I'm like, let's all work together.
That's a huge 0. And thank you for sharing it. And I love the way the outfits come into play, and that can help us also tackle and create our own armor, but also our own pink days where we kind of want to play with everybody. It's very human. And thank you for sharing, because it's always other 0s pop in here as well when we talk to artists such as yourself. So let's do a little recap of what is happening. The cocktail hour still has another weekend of performances, correct?
Mm-hmm. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
mm-hmm.
February.
February, is it 4th, the last performance?
February 4th is the last day to come see the cocktail hour.
Mm-hmm. And they're over at Mission Valley, guys. So it's pretty easy to find, and it's awesome to have a space like that inside a mall. I love it. And then you're having your other show. What is it called again?
Zion's Story.
Zion's Story, and it's for the youth, but then there's going to be a public performance. So we have to be vigilant, right? The Instagram account, and how can people follow?
Imagine Brave Spaces on Instagram is the best place to follow them.
Imagine Brave Spaces. And then we have Safa also in the year, which I highly recommend it. Mm-hmm. Everybody should watch that show. An amazing show. And I'm happy that you are part of it now. Anything that you would like to add? Some socials? Where can people get in touch with you?
If you type my first name into any piece of social media, I'm there. If you want to follow me professionally, Instagram is the way to go. I think it's Jaeonnie Marie. But if you type in my first name, it's just there. I'm one of 2 in San Diego, so I'm pretty easy to find.
Great. Thank you again for making the time and the space. We wish you more success your way and more great plays and context and tackles in the theater that help us also think, have conversations, both with ourselves, with our family members and our friends. I brought a friend, and it's amazing. She is Chinese, I am Mexican, and we were like, man, right? This happens. Like, we felt so seen with that show and the dynamic. So it was great. And I love how theater puts those conversations out there. And it's just not a mere tool for entertainment, let's say. It's so much more. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank you for that. And again, thank you for joining me. And remember that here, we just don't start from 0. We start from another 0. See you in the next time.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one.